By observing the time point, we will notice the ups and downs of advanced civilizations. In modern times, we have accumulated knowledge of the old world, and relatively objectively put together a puzzle of history. But from time to time, researchers come across a discovery that either confuses them or gives them a new insight into what we thought we knew. In this video, we will introduce you to 10 mysteries of the old world, for which scientists still have no answer. An unfinished Egyptian obelisk. One of the richest civilizations in terms of mysteries is ancient Egypt. In addition to the famous pyramids, the statue of the Sphinx, and the Temple of Luxor, we are left with the unsolved secret of the unfinished obelisk in Aswan in the northern region, which is taller or longer because it was laid than any other known in history. It is as long as 42 meters and weighs 1,200 tons. It was abandoned for no apparent reason. The mystical city of Dwarka in India. Dwarka is probably the oldest ancient city in India. The 8-kilometer-long settlement is located 36 meters below the water surface of the Gulf of Cambay on the west coast of India. This discovery especially confused archaeologists because the study of carbon in underwater ruins showed that the city is as old as 10 millennia, which is 8,000 years older than the Indian colony of Alexander the Great. In relatively recent times, the city was named Dwarka, meaning Golden City, in honor of Krishna, a Hindu deity. It turns out that what science has perceived as primitive civilizations is not close to the truth, but we may never get an answer to that question. Dolmen of Menge in Spain. The Dolmen of Menge is a pogrom mound from the 3rd millennia BC. It is located near Malaga and is known as one of the largest such structures in Europe, if not the world. The largest stone blocks weigh 180 tons, and the miraculous structure is carved with paintings of anthropomorphic figures. When the tomb was opened in the 19th century, archaeologists found several hundred remains inside. The true purpose of this facility is still unknown. Gantia in Malta. Structure older than Stonehenge and the pyramids, the temples of giants in Malta remain one of the world's greatest secrets. These two temples are known for their giant Neolithic stone blocks, and are believed to date from the 4th millennia BC. Keep in mind that these complex buildings were built in a period when people did not discover either the wheel or the metalworking. It is believed that this location was a place of fertility rites because archaeologists discovered several symbolic statuettes reminiscent of European Venus from the era of matriarchy. Due to its large size, the locals in the neighboring settlements believe in the myth that Gantia was home of the giants. According to an old legend, the female giant, Sensuna, built temples during one solar cycle. Jonaguni Monument in Japan. The underwater rock formation is located along the southern coast of Rajuku Island. Diver Kishiro Arkataki ran into a strange rock formation that lay 25 meters below the sea surface in 1986. Arataki was intoxicated by the wondrous rectangular monument. The flat walls placed at a perfect angle of 90 degrees to each other confused science because, according to earlier calculations, this area was underwater even 5 millennia ago. Geologist Masaki Kimura has been researching and mapping the site for 15 years, which he believes sank in an earthquake 2,000 years ago. Many believe that this area was much older, but what is even more surprising is that the whole series of similar structures resembling castles, temples, and even modern stadiums have been found along the coast of the island. It seems as if they were planned to be built underwater, which is impossible even in today's conditions. The Stoneheads of Olmec in Mexico. The Olmecs were a significant civilization in Central and South America that immensely influenced later civilizations such as the Maya and Aztecs. Olmec culture flourished along the Gulf of Mexico from the 12th to the 4th century BC. They were extremely talented sculptors as evidenced by the multitude of masks, statuettes, monuments, and other similar works of art found. But what sets them apart from other ancient civilizations are the giant carved heads. 17 were found throughout the area that share similar flattened noses, wide lips, and crown-like ornaments. The heads are supposed to represent famous warriors, chiefs, or ruling dynasties, and one of the controversial theories is that because of the characteristics reminiscent of the black race, they represent an ancient African civilization that sailed the seas thousands of years before the Europeans. Gobekli Tepe in Turkey. Archaeology has estimated that the site is from the pre-Neolithic era, from 9600 to 7300 BC. Gobekli Tepe is a complicated structure of circular, massive stone blocks whose function cannot even be guessed. The site is known to history, but the first research began only in 1963. Professor Klaus Schmidt from the German Archaeological Institute continued further excavations in 1995, and he is convinced that this is the oldest temple in the world. Carnac in France. The upright stones in Carnac are located near the French village of Carnac. No one knows the true function of these stones, and they are supposed to indicate the position of the stars in certain seasons. This assumption, although insufficiently researched, is not without basis, because the blocks are placed in proportion to perfect measures, which shows incredibly advanced mathematics and astronomy, which should not have been known to the people of that time. Giant stone balls in Costa Rica. Costa Rican stone balls represent perhaps the strangest of all the mysteries mentioned, because their purpose cannot be assumed in any way. They are about 3,000 years old and seem to have been completely randomly scattered. From 1930 until today, hundreds of such balls with a diameter of several centimeters to 2 meters have been discovered. Almost all of them have been made from granodiorite, a stone that is extremely difficult to process, which raises many questions. Even when we tell you that the balls are in perfect proportions, there is no end to the amazement. Conspiracy theorists in this discovery usually look for a foothold and proof of the cooperation of ancient civilizations and aliens. Muai heads on Easter Island. This is certainly the most famous of all the listed things that have almost entered the world pop culture. Easter Island is located in Pacific Polynesia and has earned its fame because of the hundreds of giant stone heads scattered throughout the island. Monolithic figures, Muai, were carved by the people of Rapa Nui between 1250 and 1500 AD. There are 887 famous statues, the tallest of which is 27 meters. It has long been thought that the statues were just heads, but archaeologists have excavated to find out that they also have a body that was driven into the ground like a wedge. Every body is covered with patterns that look like tattoos. The question arises, why are the bodies made in such detail if they are not intended for admiration? We will probably never get an answer. If any of you may have been to these places, feel free to share your experience with us. Write below in the comments what you think about these places. Be sure to leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe to the channel as a sign of support. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video with a new interesting topic.